Hey there, welcome to Story Plots. Today's story is called Superman 2 is a 1980 superhero film directed by Richard Lester and written by Mario Puzo and David and Leslie Newman from a story by Puzo based on the DC Comics character Superman. It is the second installment in the Superman film series and a sequel to Superman, 1978. The plot: before the destruction of Krypton, the criminals General Zod, Ursa, and Non are sentenced to banishment into the Phantom Zone. Years later, the Phantom Zone is shattered near Earth by the shockwave of a hydrogen bomb thrown from Earth by Superman. The three criminals are freed and find themselves with superpowers granted by the yellow light of the sun. After landing on the moon and effortlessly killing a team of astronauts exploring there, they continue toward Earth with plans to conquer the planet. The Daily Planet sends journalist Clark Kent, whose secret identity is Superman, and his colleague Lois Lane to Niagara Falls. Lois suspects Clark and Superman are the same person after Clark is absent when Superman saves a child. Lois intentionally places herself in the falls, but Clark saves her without exposing himself. That night, Clark trips and his hand lands in a lit fireplace. When Lois sees that his hand is unscathed, Clark reveals that he is indeed Superman. He takes her to his fortress of solitude in the Arctic, showing her the traces of his past stored within energy crystals. Superman declares his love for Lois and his wish to spend his life with her. After conferring with the hologram of his mother Lara, Superman removes his superpowers by exposing himself to red Kryptonian sunlight in a crystal chamber, becoming immortal. Clark and Lois spend the night together, then leave the fortress and return from the Arctic. Meanwhile, Zod and his cohorts travel to the White House and force the President of the United States to surrender. Clark and Lois arrive at a diner in Alaska, where a trucker named Rocky sexually harasses Lois and beats Clark to a bloodied pulp. While Lois tries to help Clark with his wounds, on TV, the President makes a speech which is interrupted by Zod. Clark looks up at the TV and realizes that Zod, Ursa, and Non have taken over the planet. The President then asks for Superman's help, and Zod challenges Superman. Clark realizes that he made a terrible mistake. He tells Lois that he has to go back to the fortress to restore the powers so he can save the planet and defeat Zod. Lois tells him that it's too late for him to do it. But Clark then returns to the fortress and finds the original green crystal that Lois left on the floor, sparing it when the control module and all the other crystals are destroyed after Superman becomes human. Lex Luthor escapes from prison with Eve Teschmacher's help. They infiltrate the Fortress of Solitude, and Luthor learns of Superman's connection to Jor-El and General Zod. He finds Zod at the White House and tells him Superman is the son of Jor-El, their jailer, and offers to lead him to Superman in exchange for control of Australia. The three Kryptonians ally with Luthor and go to the Daily Planet. Superman arrives, after restoring his powers, and battles the three. Zod realizes that Superman cares for the humans and takes advantage by threatening bystanders. Superman realizes the only way to stop Zod and the others is to lure them to the fortress, so he flies off with Zod, Ursa, and Non in pursuit, kidnapping Lois and taking along Luthor. Superman tries to get Luthor to lure the three into the crystal chamber to depower them. However, Luthor reveals the chamber's secret to the villains. Zod forces Superman into the chamber and activates it. Afterwards, assuming him deprived of his powers, Zod tells Superman to kneel, take his hand, and swear eternal loyalty to him. Instead, Superman crushes Zod's hand and tosses him into a crevice. Luthor deduces that Superman reconfigured the chamber to expose the trio to red sunlight while Superman was protected from it. Non falls into another crevice when trying to fly over it, and Lois knocks Ursa into a third. Superman flies back to civilization, returning Lois home and leaving Lex stranded in the fortress. At the Daily Planet the following day, Clark kisses Lois, using his abilities to wipe her mind of the knowledge of her past few days. Later, he returns to the diner, gets revenge on Rocky, and humiliates him. Superman restores the damage done by Zod, replacing the American flag atop the White House and tells the president he will not abandon his duty again. The end. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time.